What's up, you guys? I'm Tim, and if you're watching this, you want to know how much do I need to save for retirement. Now, if you missed the first video, make sure to go back and watch that, because in that we cover a lot of the basics that we need to know to answer this question and the formulas we'll be using in this video. Also, if you're finding this helpful, please remember to crush that like button and subscribe. That way I know that you're getting something out of this and I'm not just talking to an endless void of internet nothingness. So retirement is, I feel, a deceiving word. Does anybody really want to just sit there and do nothing all day, every day? Maybe you do, but I don't. But what I do want is the option to do nothing. So really what we're trying to find out here is how much do I need to save to have financial freedom? So what does that mean? That's just when you're able to build an income that allows you to maintain a standard of living that you decide is comfortable for retirement. Now that's different for everybody. Some might be okay with bread, water, and a tiny house in Ohio, and only need $15,000 a year, while others cannot fathom being without the latest car, a beach house, and trips to Hawaii. I may or may not have just described me. Really quickly, I just want to clarify that saving in a 401k and an IRA is not the only way to get to a level of income that will be comfortable for you in retirement. But it is one way, and it'll be great to cover so that you know the basics. Now that that's established, let's head over to Excel and start grinding this out. Okay, so here we are in Excel, or whatever free version of software that you have. Now, in order to find out how much you must save, you need to ask yourself, how much money do I want to live off of in retirement? Remember, I said this is different for everybody, and to get there, you could use a budget approach and add up all the things that you'll need to pay to get a monthly or yearly budget, and that would be your number. Or you can just do what the experts recommend and simply take your current income, if you have one, and use 70 to 80% as retired income. Now, this is what they say will help you maintain your current standard of living after things like your house and other liabilities no longer are a concern in retirement. So to keep things simple, we'll run my numbers. Alright, so as a pharmacist in the DC area, I'm able to secure an income of roughly $130,000. So we're going to put this in here. $130,000. When I take 70% of that, we get $91,000, as you'll see here, equals current income times 0.7, $91,000. And how much do I need to get from my 401k IRA? Well, let's say I don't have any other income sources. It's all going to be this from my retirement accounts, and this $91,000. So we're just going to carry this down. Okay, great. Now what? Well, all this money we're talking about is going into either a 401k or an IRA, an individual retirement account, which are simply accounts at banks that change value as the stock market changes value. We'll assume that it does overall very well, and so you'll do well. And it's important to understand this because that's where we'll get the assumption of the market interest rate of 7%. Okay, the next thing the experts will tell you to plan for is what they call a safe withdrawal rate. This is essentially the amount of money you can take out of an account in retirement that will roughly equate the interest you're earning each month on those accounts. So, if you earn a 4% return, which is what we will assume that safe withdrawal rate is, and you only take out that interest each year, the balance is essentially unchanged. And 4% is that safe rate because it represents a stock market account that has minimal risk. Most people don't want to be as risky in retirement because if you lose it all, you don't exactly have another 30 years to start working again. Cue the I'm retired and I want to go home commercial. Okay, so back to the Excel sheet. So income of $91,000, a safe withdrawal rate of 4%. So basically I need to solve the equation, what times 4% is equal to $91,000? So our equation will look like this, x times 4% is equal to 91,000. So we're looking for this sum of money here, this x. Well, how do we do that? Equals 91,000 divided by 0.04. 2.275 million. So this is how much money I would need in my retirement account in order to, at a safe withdrawal rate of 4%, get an income of $91,000 a year in retirement. Cool, but how do we get that much money? Well, you could win the lottery and get there tomorrow, or we can start saving. So let's start saving. Remember, we were going over how to use the future value in the previous video, and this is your future value. or at least it's my future value. But now you're saying, but Tim, you showed us how to get future value, and you just gave us the future value. Now what are we supposed to do? Well, remember, I said that Excel has a bunch of loaded-in functions, and each of those building blocks that go into future value can be used as a function to find its value. So here we have payment. How do we find payment? Well, we use our other building blocks, the ones that we know. Our market interest rate. We said it was 7%, 0.07. Time until retirement. We're going to assume 30 years like we did in the previous video. So 30 years, remember N per is going to be 30 times 12. We're doing monthly periods. So equals 30 times 12. 360. Our payment, that's what we don't know. Our future value, remember, is this. Lastly, it'll be important to remember that, like I said in the previous video, any amount invested is going to be negative. So negative future value. So we have to find payment. Equals, remember how we did FV for future value? Now we're going to do PMT for payment. And there are our building blocks right there. So rate. Remember, we can do this and divide it by 12 because it's per month. N per. Present value. Now, we're going to say it's 0. Say I haven't started saving yet. If you had an actual account with money in it, you could put the present value in there. But remember, it would have to be negative because that's an invested amount. So we're going to go with 0. And then future value. Close and enter. And look at that. That's the payment that I would need to save each month in order to have $2.275 million in 30 years at a 7% market interest return. And that's how you find out how much you need to save each month for retirement. And just out of curiosity, how much of my income is this in percentage? So equals this divided by my monthly income, that divided by 12. And we get about 17.2. So if you need 30 years to save at a market interest of 7% and you're going to take out 4% in retirement, you have to save about 17% of your income in order to maintain your standard of living. Now, a lot of things can change your number, like if you had other streams of passive income from a pension, if you're military, or if you had rental cash flow from real estate investments, other things like that. So this is simply if you are just going to save in retirement accounts and then pull from that for your retirement income. So try out these formulas, work with it, play with it, use different numbers, save more, save less, see what needs to be done. But the point is that you now know how to use future value and then payment. You know how much the general interest is to expect on the stock market return, what a safe withdrawal rate is, all these things that go into knowing how much do you need to save for retirement. Okay, that wraps up this video. Let me know in the comments if this was helpful and if there's anything else that you would like to see covered in this video series. And until next time, adios.